Have you ever come across someone or something that makes you realize life is on towies how it seems? Well, that's exactly what happens in today's story. Stick around because this is gonna be one wild ride. Once upon a time in the lush green hills of southern Ethiopia, nestled in a village called Lemma Hills, lived a bright and adventurous 9-year-old girl named Lami. She was known for her radiant smile and boundless curiosity. Her laughter echoed through the village, as bright and cheerful as the Ethiopian sun. Now Lami absolutely loved her life in the village. She loved her home with its round walls made of dried mud and its thatched roof. She loved the blooming bougainvillea climbing up its sides. And most of all, she loved her grandmother, affectionately called Nana by everyone. Lami was particularly fond of school. She enjoyed learning alongside children from her village and the neighboring ones. Her favorite subject was drawing. During class breaks, while others played jump rope or hide and seek, Lami could be found sketching trees, skittering mice, and even magical flying creatures. Her drawings were filled with vibrant colors, each stroke showing her infectious enthusiasm for life. But what truly made Lami special wasn't just her art or her spirit. It was her eagerness to help her grandmother. Every morning Lemma Hills awoke with the songs of birds and the gentle rustling of coffee trees in the wind. The air was sweet with the scent of blooming jasmine and fresh earth. After helping her mother with chores, Lami often joined her grandmother to fetch water from the spring and gather firewood from the forest edge. They'd walk side by side, two generations connected by love and duty. The old woman's steps were slower, her back stooped, but her eyes twinkled with youthful joy. Lami cherished these moments, listening intently to her grandmother's stories about the forest. Tales of mischievous monkeys, stinging butterflies, and sometimes, just sometimes, stories of hungry hyenas that roamed the misty paths. The villagers adored Lami, their smiles as warm as the midday sun, their eyes crinkling at the corners when they watched her skip and play. But they all knew she had one little flaw. She rarely listened to advice, especially when her curiosity took the lead. One misty morning, with the sun still hiding behind the tall eucalyptus trees, Lami burst into her grandmother's hut with sparkling eyes. "Nana, I want to go into the forest today. I heard there are special branches perfect for building my dream kite." Her grandmother, as gentle as she was wise, turned from her cooking pot and gave Lami a warm, knowing look. "Lami, my child," she said, her voice like the soothing melody of an Ethiopian lullaby. "The forest is beautiful, yes, but it also holds secrets and shadows. There are mischievous monkeys that steal, butterflies that sting, and sometimes hungry hyenas that roam. If you must go, stay close to our donkey, Baku. He knows the forest better than anyone." Lami giggled. "Nana, I'm nigh now. I'm big and smart. What could possibly go wrong?" With a puffed chest and high spirits, Lemmy grabbed a small basket, tied it to Baku, and set off into the forest. Sunlight dappled through the leaves, painting dancing patterns on the ground. Bees buzzed near flowering bushes, their fuzzy bodies dusted with pollen. It felt like a perfect day for kite branches. Oh. She walked deeper and deeper, scanning every tree, every fallen limb. Birds chattered greetings from their leafy homes. Leaves crunched beneath her sandals, composing a melody of autumn. Ku ambled on, munching grass along the way, his tail swishing lazily in the air. And then something strange happened. Ku suddenly froze. His large brown eyes widened. His ears perked forward. He stared intently at a dark patch of bushes. "What's wrong, Baku?" Lemmy asked. She tugged gently at the rope tied around his neck. "Come on, we're almost done." But Baku refused to budge. His hooves were planted firmly on the ground, as if rooted by magic. "Baku, please, you're being so stubborn." Lemmy huffed, trying to pull him along. Just then, something rustled in the bushes, sending a shiver down Lemmy's spine. Before either could react, a low growl echoed from within. Two pairs of glowing yellow eyes appeared, followed by two snarling hyenas. Their teeth were sharp and white, contrasting their dark muzzle. They stared at Lemmy hungrily, ready to pounce. Terror rooted Lemmy to the spot. Her throat tightened. She couldn't scream or move. All she could do was stare in horror as the hyenas took slow, menacing steps toward her. Her mind raced, desperately seeking a way out, but fear paralyzed her. She squeezed her eyes shut, bracing for the worst. Suddenly, without warning, Baku exploded into action. In a flash, he kicked up dust and galloped like lightning. Lemmy, caught off guard, tumbled onto his back. He raced ahead, his hooves thundering on the ground, the hyenas close behind, snarling with frustration. Lemmy clung tightly to Baku's back, burying her face in his coarse fur. The wind whipped through her hair, carrying the sounds of the forest. The hyenas, unable to keep up, fell back, their angry growls echoing through the trees. At last Baku slowed, shaking the dirt from his coat. Lemmy slid off his back, shaky but unharmed. Together, they watched as the hyenas disappeared back into the bushes, their angry yelps fading into the distance. Relief washed over Lemmy, leaving her weak. Her legs trembled, her hands shook. She felt a deep sense of gratitude towards the donkey. If it weren't for him, she wouldn't be here. As they made their way back to the village, the setting sun cast long shadows through the trees. The sky blazed with hues of orange and purple, a breathtaking sight that made Lemmy hold her breath. When they finally reached the village, the sight before them made their hearts sink. The hyenas, true to their word, had ransacked the village. Homes were overturned, possessions scattered, and terrified villagers huddled together, their faces etched with worry and despair. Lami's heart broke at the sight of her beloved village in ruins. She wanted to help, to soothe the frightened villagers, but she knew she couldn't fix what the hyenas had done. Feeling helpless, she retreated to the familiar comfort of her grandmother's hut. The once bright and cheerful space seemed dim and lifeless. Lami collapsed onto the floor, tears streaming down her face. Her grandmother, sensing Lami's distress, knelt beside her, her touch as comforting as warm honey. "Tell me what happened," she said softly, her voice a soothing balm to Lami's raw emotions. As Lami recounted the day's events, her grandmother listened patiently, her gaze filled with understanding. When Lami finished her story, her grandmother remained silent for a moment, lost in thought. Then she reached out, wiping away Lami's tears. "Being brave is good, child," she began, her voice firm, yet gentle. "But listening to those who care for you, that is wisdom. You must understand that the forest holds wonders, but also dangers. And sometimes those dangers can reach beyond the trees." Lami nodded, tears drying on her cheeks. She understood her grandmother's words, but the weight of them settled heavily in her stomach. From that day on, Lami's adventures in the forest changed. She still loved exploring the woods, collecting colorful pebbles and twigs, and drawing pictures of the animals that lived there. But now she carried her grandmother's voice in her heart. Whenever she ventured out, she remembered the mischievous monkeys, the stinging butterflies, and the hungry hyenas. Most importantly, she learned to listen, not just to her own desires, but to the whispers of wisdom that surrounded her. And as for Baku, the humble donkey, he continued to live on the farm, an ordinary, quiet, sleepy donkey. Oh, perhaps there was a twinkle in his eye that Lami noticed now, a knowing glint that spoke of ancient secrets and hidden magic. The end. Do you remember Lami and her magical journey with the talking donkey? If you enjoyed their tale, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Thanks for watching and stay curious.